live interview with a young lady. I'm not interviewing her. She's interviewing me because I did like a little promo thing on Instagram. She answered the question correctly. So I'm going to allow Abna, I think, to ask me anything she wants to ask me. So we're just going to do an interview. She's shy, so she doesn't want to show her face. So you'll hear her voice, but you just won't see her face, okay? All right then, ready for it? Great, let's go. Let's see what happens.
Hello.
Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Not too bad. Are you at work?
Yes, I am.
Oh, all right, excellent. And your name is Abna, isn't it?
Yes, Gifty after.
Gifty Arthur. Gifty, okay. Hi, Gifty, how are you? Let's start this properly. Yes. Is anybody around with you, or you just going to do this by yourself?
I'm doing this by myself, just me.
Interesting. Okay. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. Ask me anything.
And first of all, I'm very happy that I have this opportunity to talk to you. And I hope by the end of our conversation, I will learn a whole lot from you.
Of course you will. Anything you want to ask, anything you want to know, yes, I'm all for that. So feel free.
Okay, thank you very much. So I understand that you've been married for almost 32 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 5 beautiful kids. And so my first question is, when you met your husband some years ago, how did you know he was the one?
Ooh, okay. To be honest, I didn't, because I met my husband when I was training at a company called De Beers. De Beers is a diamond trading company, and he was managing about 6 or 7 people in an office. But he was an IT specialist and a consultant. So when I was only 16, I think I was 16, yes. And I was going to college, and after college, I would go to the company to learn how to use, computers. And at that time, you're too young to know what a telex machine is. But it was like yes. And so I used to sort of go in there to learn how to use these machines. And he was there. But I was very grown up. I remember at 16, I had ginormous breasts. So I looked older, I was not... I was very mature for my age. So he thought I was older because I was working. I was coming in there after college. And my uncle was a consultant for the company as well. He's the one who got me that job there. So John asked me out. And I remember just being very upset with him. I'm thinking, why is he asking me out? It was sort of a little strange. I'm just, I'm 16. And I ignored him. So he used to sometimes come into the coffee room and try to talk to me. And I would ignore him. So no, I didn't know. And I remember that where I was working, there was a young lady who really liked him and used to say what a nice ass he had, because he had a really nice bottom. He was young and nice, perfect, round bottom. So I would look and go, Anyway, a year went by and he kept asking. I kept saying no. And then one day I just said yes. And when I said yes to go out with him, I still didn't know that he was the right person for me. I didn't turn up. And that was bad. So he saw me again at the work and he asked me why I didn't turn up. And I said I wasn't allowed to. And the fact is, my uncle would not have allowed me to go out. And I realized that John was very patient. It was only in the 3rd year that I actually said yes. I was 19 and almost 20. Yeah, so I think I was almost 20. And I said yes. And then it was the second date that I knew, because he really was so easy. I invited him to my uncle's house, and we had kinky and pepe and fish and sardines. And this is a white man who has never been around black people, ever. He used to work in South Africa, but he's never, in South Africa, they keep them segregated. They weren't really allowed to sort of fraternize with the black people, because, racism is very prominent there. So he came, and I remember he just sat with us and he ate kinky. And it was like, and my husband is from a family that is very, very stiff. They're very English, very posh, as they say. Like everything is done properly. His mother was like very prim and proper. He came from a really amazing life. So for him to come into an African home and be so easygoing, and that's when I knew he was the right person for me. And he was comfortable. And 6 months later, he asked me to marry him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was it. And it was a second date. That's when I knew.
Mommy, so this leads me to the next question. What do you think about going out for more than 2 years? Some people date for more than 5 good years before they get married. Yeah, because you said you got married after 6 months of going out with him.
Yeah, I think it's good to get to know people. It's very important, because people's real personalities come out after a while when they feel relaxed with you. So usually men, I'm not discriminating, but usually men can hide who they are for a very long time. And the only way you get to know them is with time. It's very hard to differentiate between a man understanding that they want you not because of sex, you see. So to be able to figure that out, you need to watch all the little things. People get caught up into I'm in love, and then they have sex with this person too early, and the next thing they're breaking their heart. And then I hear women say, I really fell in love with them. And women, we fall in love very easily. When somebody's nice to us, we find ourselves dropping our guard and allowing them in. But men don't work that way. They really just need to know that they really do fancy you. And then the sex comes in for them. It becomes like a thing. So I think straight from the onset, if somebody asks you out, you have to make it very clear that, listen, we have to get to know each other before I am going to give myself to you when I'm comfortable. It's too quick. People decide about love when it comes to sex too quickly. It's like sex really should be the last thing when you really care about somebody. I think dating for a long time is not a bad thing, but sometimes when you know. But then you still have to wait. I'd known my husband for 4 years at work, but I never really dated him until for that 6 months. But I already knew who he was, because he was willing to wait for me. Example, my daughter has been dating her boyfriend since university, and they're still not married, and she's been with him for 10 years. And I am pissed off, but I have to understand, and I have to say, this January I did threaten him. I have to say, I threatened him, and I said, you better pack his bags and leave, or make a commitment. Because I was trying not to be the African mother, but he's Nigerian and he should know better. So now he's come in and done the right thing, and he wants to get married. So now I'm happy. But the length of time shouldn't matter if you love each other, if he's good to you, if he's dedicated to you, if he cares about you. But never rush it though.
Okay. Thank you very much. And then you, from the first question, the answer you gave me, you said something about looking out for the signs. So what are the signs that you will know that you have to go ahead and marry this guy, this particular guy you are going out with?
You have to watch for the little things, like, does he call you often enough? And when he calls, you can hear in their voice that they really do want to talk to you. And things like, maybe when you're with them, like the odd touch of the hand, the way they look at you when you're not looking, you know. The signs is when you say something that maybe doesn't make sense, how he responds to you. Some men, when you say something that doesn't make sense, they'll look at you, the response is a bit dismissive. They don't really value what you say. That's a big sign that this man will be controlling. So another thing is maybe when things go badly wrong, it's like maybe when you're late and you turn up and he's upset that you're late, you've kept him waiting. That's a controlling man. Those signs, you know that you're going to be in trouble at some point. It's just his reaction to little things you do. When you're sad, is he been around you long enough to notice when you're sad? So when you're sad, does he recognize it and come to you and say, hey, I can feel you're sad. What's the matter? When they don't care enough to notice, or they notice but they go, oh, okay, don't worry, they're fine now. That's a sign. Because in marriages and when children come along, you will be sad. Especially when you're home and maybe your weight changes, or maybe if he's not paying too much attention or he's going out, you want him to recognize that you're feeling those emotions. And if he doesn't, in the normal things, then you have to worry about it. When you're going to bed and you say you're not in the mood for sex and he gets angry, that's a sign. You know, he has to be able to say, come on, let's have a hug. Just, rest your head on my shoulder. Usually when they do that, even if you don't want sex, you want it now because they're like so sweet. Do you know what I mean? It's just that feeling. It's that nice feeling that they give you. So you have to watch for those signs, and you have to, in the beginning of a relationship, you always have to tell them your do's and don'ts, things you don't like. You have to lay it all out straight. Women are usually afraid to say what they feel to a man because they think it'll get them running. But that's what you want. If they're going to run, let them go. But you have to say how far you'll go, what makes you happy and what not. And ask him questions. Questions there, you should come pee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And mommy, okay, so for all these years, 32 years, how did you make your marriage work?
It was tough. There's no question. It was not easy at all because as soon as we got married, I had a child soon after that. So it was tough. It was great because we started a family early, but I suddenly became a mother. And I had a great career as a singer where I was like a pop star. And here I am, I'm having a child. Although I wanted a child, I had to sort of put all of that aside and become a mother and a wife. And in the beginning it was great, but after a while you think, oh my God, this is it. And then as soon as I started to get my bearings, I got pregnant again. So I had a child like every 16 months. So the first 3 came really quickly. And it was tough. And I remember after number 1, I was all about my daughter. And I realized that John, he's a father, he's a real thing, he's always there. He'll still go to work, come home, and stay up and put my daughter down. He'll let me sleep. So sometimes he won't go to bed like till 2 and still wake up at 6 to go to work. He was just amazing. I started to realize I was not paying too much attention to him. And my mother always used to say, Ekuya, so I bring him crap out. At least, once I eat you, one year juma, or 2 years juma, into money, baby, baby. I tried to sort of make sure that John felt comfortable, that I gave him some attention. It was tough, but when number 2 came along, it got even harder because I had some complications with number 2, and then I got pregnant again, and I was very angry with John because I thought that he intentionally did that so I wouldn't go back. And then my son came along, and when it comes to cheating or his eyes wandering, never has I seen my husband's eyes wander. I'll tell you a story where I had because I was singing, I dealt with a lot of models and other pop stars. And I remember one girl was dating one of these famous people and he threw her out. She was stunning. She was a model. I mean, like 6 foot tall, long legs, beautiful girl. And she called me and said, could she come to me? And I said, of course. So she came to me with her son. And I was singing. So I remember one day I left her with her son. John was home with the kids. And I went off to work to sing. And I remember I came home, it was like 3 a.m. She was sitting downstairs with her bags. I remember thinking, what's happening? So I looked at her and she says, well, I think I have to go. And I said, hold on. So I went upstairs and I spoke to my husband. I said, what happened? She said, I was in the shower. This girl came into the shower naked. Yes, she wanted my husband. So she went into the shower with my husband. I mean, she's a white girl, beautiful, and he actually turned her down, threw her out, and told her to pack her bags. Yeah, and I remember I came in, and to be honest, I wasn't even angry with her. I remember coming down and I said, you know you shouldn't have done that, right? I've never been jealous of any woman ever in my life. Really, I'm not worried. I always say that if my husband is going to cheat, then he knows he's going to lose me. So that's it. Then you know it's fine. If you want to cheat, and I know, you can go on your way. Go to that person. I've always told John that right from the beginning. If you ever cheat, I'm not going to beg for you to stay. I don't care how much I love you. You are going to be leaving with that, whoever it is. Just go. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't look behind you. I will not beg you. I will not ask you to stay. I will not tell you to do anything. Just go. Let's drive her to a hotel. So I put her in a hotel and I paid for it. And the next day I went to pick her up and rented her a place for 2 weeks. And that was it. I never spoke to her again because John didn't want to know her anymore. But I was not sad. I've been in situations with lots of beautiful models and my husband is always there and he just really only has eyes for me. So I think, and as for me, well, I've never really been tempted. Maybe once I had a good friend and he was always there for me. And I remember one time just talking to him about something and I noticed in his eyes it was a bit so I have to say I wasn't angry. So then I was worried because then I should have been angry. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I thought, oh, okay, yeah. maybe let me just cut that relationship before it becomes anything. If you don't know.
What do you do when you have like problems in your marriage? Like your husband gets you very, very angry. Like what do you do when you're angry?
I talk about it instantly, there and then. I don't keep quiet. When I was younger, I used to go really quiet and maybe not speak to him. But then my mother used to, because my mother and I were very close. So I'd bring her and say, Mom, I am pissed off with John right now. I remember I got one time so angry, I packed my bags. I put my kids in the car. I had two at the time. I put them in the car and I went to the airport and flew out to Italy somewhere with the 2 oldest one, and he didn't see me for 3 weeks, and he didn't know who I was. That was bad. I had a hot temper when I was young, and I went home. I looked at him. He had been crying. His beard had grown like anything. He was just sitting. He hadn't gone to work. He didn't know what he was doing, and that's when I realized that. Why? Why? And it wasn't anything he did. It's his mother who did something that annoyed me. That was it. When I'm angry, I realize that when I'm angry, I have to say it there and then. So I sit him down. I said, we have to talk. I'm angry. I don't want to sleep on it. I don't want us to have to think about it the next day. Let's just get it out right now, there and then. So we'll sit down and we'll hush it out. And whatever I'm feeling, I'll say it. And then I'll apologize ahead of time. So please forgive me, but right now I'm angry. Let me get it out. And then he'll explain. But the thing with my husband is, he never gets angry back. In 32 years, he has never been angry with me. Ever.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've seen him upset with himself for making me upset. But he will sit and look at me. And when he's even angry with something I've said, he'll say, but why did you have to say that? And then I'll look at him, I go, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But he's never angry with me.
Okay, so has it gotten to a point in your marriage that you felt like you are tired and then you wanted a divorce?
Yeah, of course I have. I really wanted to kickstart my career again, and he wasn't really very happy about that because he felt we didn't need anything. But my career is not really about money. I do it because I love it and it makes me feel happy. And he wasn't really excited about that. And I remember I got a really, I don't know, like a £4 million pound deal, and we were in talks and it was going really well. I invited my husband in to meet the guys who were signing me. And when we came home, John started to make all kinds of negative things towards what was about to happen and whatnot. You don't need the money because these people, they're going to control your life. And I got angry. And I thought, he's just trying to sabotage my career, really. That's what I kept telling myself. So I said, okay, that's it. Now you go your way, I'll go mine. It's that simple. We're getting a divorce. It's done. It was calm as anything. And I actually realized that he was right. Those people really just wanted to control me. And he could see that one of them actually really liked me. So because they were billionaires, they wanted to use my career as a way in to be able to. And he was right, because one of them invited me on his yacht on a pretense of doing a gig. But then he introduced me to his children and told them that he was going to marry me. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm married. So that was it. So I left, went home, and I just told Jon, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, but he saw it.
Okay, Mommy, what do you think about third parties in relationships? Like, when you had problems in your marriage, you talk to a friend or you talk to a counselor or you talk to your mother. Is it okay to confine your friends?
No, never confine in your friends. Never confine in your friends. You can confine in, maybe if you have a really, really good friend that you can talk to, somebody that you've known for a while. It's a good thing to find that one person that cares about you. Find one good friend. And if your mother's around, you can talk to your mothers, but mothers can be very protective. So sometimes if you tell them, they start to hate your boyfriend or I don't know. So it's a bit dicey. So mothers, it depends on what kind of mother you have. My mother, I could tell, because she's never on my side, ever. So, and you don't want that too. You want somebody who can, talk some sense into your head. So I would say a good friend, but one. Don't let them put it out there, because if everybody has something to say all the time, so it's good to just talk to one person and that's it. It's always good to talk to your boyfriend, your husband first before you start talking to a friend. I have a very good friend that I do that with, Sylvia. She's amazing. I would call her and she'd say, okay, just think about what you're saying. Just see on his side, and then we'll rationalize it, and it's done. And then I think, oh, maybe I should go apologize. Or she'll ring Jon and say, Jon, I don't like the way that you did that. So I know Anne has got Stephanie has got a hot temper, but really you didn't do that well. So just go in the room and say you're sorry. So you need that friend who is like that. If you don't have one, find one. But if it's a big problem, a counselor is the best thing. Somebody who's neutral completely. Right? But friends, dear, bad decision. There's always friends who are jealous. Always.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them around. They'll give you the worst advice you'll possibly get from anybody. And to you it makes sense because you're hyped up, you're angry. And when you're angry, you invite so much crap inside. So no, not friends.
Okay, Mommy, what do you think about your boyfriend or your husband having a female bestie?
I talked about that not long ago. I don't think it's a bad thing if the person is also your friend.
Okay.
That you have to. She has to be able to comfortable enough to come to your house on occasions where you can all chill out. She has to be able to call you and have a relationship with you as well. So yeah. I mean, when I met Jon, he had a female bestie, amazing, and she was unbelievable. She was the first person he introduced me to when we went out. We went to dinner at her house, and that was his best friend. And to date, she is my best friend. She's become my best friend. We had our children at the same time. We looked after each other's children. We are like this. So, if they can become your friend as well, and if they love your husband enough, they will want to become your friend as well. If not, then tell him, no way, you won't accept that. That's not cool.
Okay, so my last question is, so my question was, if you weren't a musician, what would you be doing now?
I'd either be a lawyer or I studied to be a business consultant. So all my degrees is in business consultancy. But I love law, so I probably would have been a lawyer. But also running a business and doing business consultancy is something I love doing. So I probably would have been one or the other.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I probably would have been. But I have businesses anyway, so I'm able to do that side of it anyway.
I'm done with my question.
It's okay. What do you do?
I'm an administrative assistant and then PA for Bloomberg Company Limited.
Bloomberg. Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of Bloomberg.
Yes, it's a pub and a restaurant, and then we have an office here. Yes.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay, that's a nice job. Are you married?
Yes. No, I'm not married, but I have a boyfriend.
Is he good to you though?
Yes. Next 2 weeks we are celebrating our 2 years anniversary. So.
Oh, that's nice. So were you concerned that he might not commit to you then?
Yes, because we are both very young. We are both the same age, 24, and then see, like, I don't know.
Well, you see, I think don't worry about that so much because, like I say, with my daughter, it's been 10 years. And they've been together, the oldest one. They're now just about to get married because they wanted to set up a life that, so when they get married, she wants to have children straight away. So they're comfortable. They have all their monies in place. They have everything in place. They have a house. They have everything. That sometimes is a good thing. But that's sometimes also a bit to me, I say, and it drags things too much, because I feel like when you know. So people do things differently. But what you have to do now is sit him down and say, where do you see us? Don't be afraid to ask that question. Don't be afraid to get the answer as well, because the answer will determine a lot of things that you need to do. So sit down, ask him the question. It's very important. How do you see us? Where are we going from this? It's been 2 years. You have the right to ask that question after 2 years. Because I made my daughter ask him that question. Where are we going? Right? And then he straight away said, listen, I love you. I want to marry you. We're going to get married. These are my values. And then if they're not yours as well, fortunately for my daughter, his values were hers because she was singing and she was making a lot of money. So for her, she wanted to continue that. She wasn't ready for marriage. But if you are, since I'm ready, you probably might not be on the same page as I am, but I need to know where we're at. But if you're in a relationship, what I can say is please never be afraid to ask the questions. Ghana for and you're so asking questions because we don't want answers that make us feel bad. It's the upbringing, and don't be afraid. Why? Remember, you're a beautiful girl. Yankasa me matchmaker dear me peba kwama. Kinds on the Macassa, Missy Wanwariwa. Me a casa me pequama.
What if he doesn't answer?
Oh no, he has to answer. If he doesn't answer, that's bad.
Yeah.
If he doesn't answer, that's a sign. For sure. So then you have to start checking yourself. Don't say, I love him, so I'll stay. Because that's not good. He needs to be able to tell you something that, okay, I'm not quite ready yet. But there has to be some answer. I'm not quite ready yet, but I think we will be ready maybe in a few months or maybe a year or whatever. Because, and you see in his eyes, in the way he reacts to you. Okay, whether say he's there with you. Yeah, so on your radio, we can say, oh, sweetheart, you know, we love each other right now. Are you ready? Or be trauma. Oh, so are you ready? Like I said, I don't know if you're able to me ready, Kaka. Because okay, you share how many months say it to me? Them or don't know, that's how they react to it. Well, I say, oh, now what's now what you to say? Then that's your problem. Aye. No. Why? Watch body language. Send me a picture. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. A lot from this conversation.
Thank you.
And I hope I'll get a chance to see you one day.
Yes, I'm going to get my jab in a few days. So when I get it, I'm coming straight to Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll probably be there maybe middle of March. Muhono.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I come, you'll definitely see me. And you have my number now. So anytime you want to ask me anything, please text me or call me. I'll answer it for you, right?
Thank you very much. And you are very, very beautiful too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. My love to everybody. Say hi to your boyfriend for me. Okay. Bye, Dan.
I love you.
I love you too. Take care.